To everyone who yearns for tertiary education, to everyone who wants to aspire to transform this country and transform our nation. This university belongs to the journalists, it belongs to the politicians, it belongs to the engineers, it belongs to the doctors, it belongs to the sociologists, it belongs to people like us who are the economists. This university belongs to all of us because it is a state-premier university. This university is not owned by Saul Nelson or Mr. Weir. It is under operated or under the administration of Saul Nelson. It is operated under the regime of Mr. Weir. The regime has crossed the red line. The regime has violated international protocol. The regime has violated the handbook of the University of Liberia. The regime has gone beyond the Berlin Wall. On that basis, as many things as scheduled the vanguard Republican parties, Karama told us, he said, no matter how many years you obey or support your leader, if they no longer stand in defense of the ideology and philosophy, you have no obligation or whatsoever to support or stand with them. On that basis, we are broken diplomatic tie with the university authority.
Yeah. Roll. Saul is a renegade. Roll. You be brought to the streets of Monrovia, pens down, there you.
On Monday, our comrades are brutalized. Our comrades are wounded. Our comrades are currently hospitalized. Our comrades have been incarcerated. The Liberia government is fasting. The citizen regime is fasting into a state of ogamoga. It is turning into a state of catastrophe. The citizen will go down. The citizen regime will go down in history as the worst form of guest tourism ever in the Republic of Liberia. There is why we will not relent going forward to make concerted efforts for the citizen regime to be a one-time regime.
Down, black fascism down. Down, black fascism down. Down, gangsterism down. Down, kleptocracy down. Down, black fascism down.
Mr. Weir is not only a black fascist or a dictator or a despot. Mr. Weir swims and lives in opulence. Mr. Weir is a common criminal who works more with his legs than his head.
After the social revolution, we transform that for the economy to a public library. Yo.
Mr. Weir has deposed the state. The economy is in free fall. The Liberia National Police is against the police. Mr. Weir government is a government of gangsterism and mafioso.
Yeah.
There's the biggest mafia republic in the world. Liberia has become a casino where anyone can shoot anybody in the casino. So, on Monday, the irresponsible and reckless and feckless and unprofessional citizen police shut out our commerce, brutalize us, and wound us, only because we are agitating, we are arguing, we are negotiating for social justice, academic freedom, and against the quasi and fake e-learning in our time. Let me tell you, in all fairness, there is no need for e-learning on the University of Liberia campuses. Any attempt for us to negotiate administration or come assistant 40 is because this leadership of the Vanguard Unification Party has understood that the Liberian people are suffering, that there's a health crisis, that there's also a means of not going against technology and not going against the status that created the University of Liberia. We went to meetings, we have conversations with the University Authority, we agree to have system for the e-learning, but the University Authority went on the next day to publish on a quasi anti-equated and anti-diluted website a false, fallacious, and incongruent information that the students of the University of Liberia have agreed and they will go 100% e-learning. The Vanguard Party have written copies of documents as they are aware the Vanguard Party possesses the highest number of intellectuals in Liberia. Go and fact check the record. There is no writer that is a revolutionary writer in this country that is not for the better work of the Vanguard Unification Party. There is no speaker or orator or intellectual that now is for the bosom of the Vanguard Unification Party. So we call you here not because we want to bore you intellectually. We call you here because we want you to listen and take to the Liberian people the voice of the best intellectual in the Republic of Liberia. We call you here to make a position statement on the brutalization of our commerce. And where do we go from here? Because for every attack, there's a counter attack.
We are still asking yo. Every other the ones we go over the yo. Mana. Back to you. The blood of our commerce party will not go in vain. Yo.
We are students of dialectical materialism. We understand the first, second, and third law. Dialectic taught us in the third law. For every attempt, there will be an attempted attack. For someone nothing to attempt to wound and inflict casualty on the members of the Vanguard Unification Party. You should rest assured that there will be an attempted attack.
Yeah.
We understand the third law, we say the negation of the negation. Then we have exhausted all of the first and second law. If you are not read the various laws, I encourage you to go and read the two first laws and then you come to the third law. I encourage you to read the three laws that are materialism. So, on a junction, holding off of the constant, under the doctrines of economics, satira paribus, under the doctrine of chemistry, which you call the K, the constant K, we like to introduce to you Liberia's and African finance intellectuals. One of Liberia and African finance intellectuals, the man who presides over the tripartite session, the man who presides over the 16,000 students at the University of Liberia. There's a man who maintained us yesterday to go on the Spoon TV, on the Spoon Talk, or whatsoever they have, one kept us on there, and bring it down intellectually. Right now the paper is getting rusty. We have the opportunity and the reposman to introduce to you the man who presides over the Senate Committee and put a bureau for commentator on the Vanguard Unification Party. Sir. Comrades and friends, honorable journalists, bring your beautiful microphone forward. As we welcome to this press conference, the chairman of the Vanguard Unification Party, Sir. Chairman Alexander Momo James Peters Momo Alexander James Momo Peters Momo James Alexander Peters, chairman of the Vanguard Unification Party.
Chairman Momo must go all the way. Chairman Momo must go all the way. Adonai,
Adonai, SUP power. Adonai, SUP power. Opposition. Va battre de represent.
my enemy is out.
Viva, Banga Party, viva, Luther.
Vanga Student Unification Party,
South.
University of Liberia, Capital Hill Campus, Monrovia, Liberia. SUP demands the administration of the University of Liberia to immediately suspend classes at all levels of the university, graduate school, law school, medical school, and professional school, etc. If the suspension of classes at undergraduate level is not lifted, demand the immediate reopening of the University of Liberia Student Union, condemns the CDC police brutalization of peaceful students at the University of Liberia. Comrades and friends, brothers and sisters of the intellectual class, courageous militants, ideologues and cadres of the Vanguard Student Unification Party, conscious students of the nation's hotbed of higher learning, solidarity forces and all loving citizens of Mama Liberia, we bring you revolutionary felicitation from the masses' most genuine voice of advocacy in the Republic of Liberia, the Vanguard Student Unification Party. The University of Liberia campus are fast becoming the dump site for unleashing terror, brutality, and massacre by the rotten CDC government. Since it ascended to power in 2018, this has begun again being triggered by the persistent arrogance of the university's authority failure to listen or adhere to the plight of the over 16,000 students at the University of Liberia that are struggling against this dysfunctional and disorganized 100% e-learning program imposed on the student populace at the university this semester. Again, it is quite hazardous to understand that the current pastor who sat in the most senior seat of the university administration has also amended to his entire right to release statement suspending classes for the undergraduate school only. This is unscrupulous. It is unjustifiable to the code, like the imposition of the malfunctional e-learning to the undergraduate only. And this is madness in a higher form for the classes at the undergraduate school to be suspended for time indefinite, whereas the other schools within the ring and file of the university are smoothly operating. This seems to be the president of the University of Liberia, Julius Aronesi, is operating the university on his feelings, not with the handbook or the curriculum that is engulfed with the rules and principles that serve as guide to the administration in the smooth operation of the university.
Manna, wait. The pastor is running the school in the base of pastoralism. There you dig operated after raising and cattle area. There you.
This president, Tato Nelson, is taking heinous mandate from a so-called dot, now president of the Republic of Liberia, to use the university as a source of income for his opulent and extravagant lifestyle, and also imposing decisions on the students that have the proclivity to undermine the growth and future of the students. With this, we want the president of the University of Liberia and the president of Liberia to know that the university is not their property. It is the nation's state premier area of education. It is here to provide quality education for the people, children. It can be recorded that the university authority suspended classes at undergraduate level of the university on Tuesday, August 3, 2021, owing to the peaceful protest staged on Monday by the Vanguard Student Unification Party, which turned violent, chaotic, and bloody, that saw unarmed students shot at with tear gas and live bullets, leaving many wounded and others incarcerated. SUP sees this release issued by the university authority through its Facebook page as a trashy scheme and emptied for the bus stop intended to serve as cover or to draw away the student attention from the level of injury and casualty inflicted on peaceful students by state security. Divert the minds of courageous students who are in the vanguard opposing the moral-born online policy, as well as to thwart the agenda of the collective student struggle against the quasi-e-learning program.
Manna, 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 the police who go on the university campus, community expeditions, he's a walk-around convict, walk-around cocaine, you follow Prince Johnson into Zayu.
First and foremost, SUP wants to make it unequivocally clear that there will be no ongoing classes at the University of Liberia as indicated in the University of Liberia Term 4 release issue on Tuesday. Since the protocol pronouncement of the 100% e-learning program this semester, students are yet to plan courses or complete their registration because they do not have access to the Saul e-learning garbage website. Throughout the last week, the university e-learning platform is either under maintenance, unreachable, or unavailable every time students try to make an access. The statement from the US authority is not just a public relations stunt, but a complete gimmickry and parody of an educational institution of higher learning. The statement is not only the biggest joke of the year, but a disgrace to the university. As such, it needs to be revoked now. Also, we call on the university authority to muster the courage and take full responsibility for bloody injuries inflicted on peaceful students, as well as the destructions of any property by the CDC police on the order of Dr. Julius Renaissance. Secondly, and most exigently, SUP demands the immediate suspension of classes at all levels, graduate and professional schools of the University of Liberia, if the suspension of classes at the undergraduate level is not lifted effectively immediately. SUP sees no reason why the university authority will suspend classes at undergraduate level and leave other level open when the entire university is supposed to operate in full swing. The suspension of classes is an attempt to subvert or sabotage the student struggle against a confused e-learning program. This is unacceptable and will not hesitate to take radical action in ensuring that classes are suspended at all levels, or the suspension of classes at undergraduate level is lifted.
Yo, the Nelson is a bloody president. Yo.
Amanda!
Wait. C'est quoi? We suspend classes at undergraduate level, we must suspend all classes. C'est quoi? Yo, if not suspended, we will suspend it for them. Yo.
Meanwhile, the Vanguard Student Unification Party also demand the immediate reactivation of the University of Liberia Student Intern Leadership and the subsequent reopening of the Student Young Government Building in accordance with the Memorandum of Understanding signed on April 24, 2021 amongst the University Authority, campus-based political party, county-based associations, and departmental-based leadership. For almost 2 years, the Student Young Building has been closed by the University Authority for no reason. Hereafter, we believe there's no reason to keep the Union Building, which is a direct representation of the student body to the university, closed for such a long period of time without any legal or reliable justification. The perpetual lockdown of the SUP building is a gross violation of the students' handbook and the democratic rights of the students of the University of Liberia. The university authority must get prepared to face the wrath of the students and the Vanguard Student Unification Party. If the SUP building is not open this semester in line with the MOU signed by the UN administration and all students grouping at the State University.
Viva! Vanguard Party! Viva! Yo! Open SUP Bay or face around the party. Yo.
In conclusion, we condemn the brutalization of comrades by the CDC police, the brutalization of students by CDC police on the campus of the University of Liberia is an act of deposition. It is homogeneous to the action of the military bandits of former President William R. Turbo in Liberia in April 14, 1979, that gave the people no option but to rebel against the regime of Mr. Turbo until it was terminated. Now that Mr. Weah has displayed the same intolerance displayed by Mr. Turbo on April 14, 1979 to the people's children, we foresee the same dark cloud that has Mr. Tobo to his tolerant to Mr. Weah too.
Manna, Salonesian as a pastor is so committed to upholding the command of those we are upholding the 10 commandments of the Bible. Say you, the pastor is a common pastor. Say you.
The brutalization of peaceful students also undermines Article 17 of the 1986 Constitution, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and this is an act of bastardizing the law that is used for the smooth governance of the country. With this, President George Manuel Weah and his stooges should understand that the people's foes are greater than any foes in society. To brutalize the people's children for acting under the banner of democracy signal the end coming of this regime. So strongly detests this reckless and unprofessional action by the Liberia National Police and caution Liberia National Police boss Patrick Suru from using the Liberia National Police as a partisan security apparatus. The Liberia National Police under Inspector Patrick Suru was in fact becoming a cartel of gangsters, criminals and sympathies which engaged in the wanton violation of human rights, vandalism and destructions and looting of private citizens' properties. We want to remind Mr. Suru that millions of dollars were spent to train and build a police force to a status of international standards. In such vein, the recent action of Mr. Suru stands contrary to the Police Act of 2014 and the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, as well as violates the international human rights and international protocol on academic freedom to illegally invade academic environment. Now, Sue wants to inform the Liberian populace that the blood of our comrades who were brutalized few days ago on Monday is on the hands of Liberia pop star singing President Mr. Weah, police boss Patrick Suru, and President Sarah Nessie. The Weah-led CDC regime has gone down in history as the most sell-out and gangsterish regime ever in the pages of Liberian history. The action on Monday portrayed that CDC regime is far worse than the gangsterism of ex-warlord Charles Kange Taylor.
Atinao, Sub Atinao.
Sue wants to use this occasion to draw the attention of the United States International Human Rights Watch, Freedom House, High Commission for Human Rights, UN, UNESCO, EU, AU, ECOWAS, US Embassy, etc. to the violent action exhibited by the Liberia National Police on Monday, August 3, 2021, which led to serious bodily injuries of peaceful students at the University of Liberia. While we call on the international community as well as all local rights to investigate into the bloody Monday saga, we wish our wounded comrades speedy recovery and hail them for their heroism, courage, and gallantry. So also extend sympathy to the family of the late Aliyu Sharif, the truck driver who was murdered in cold blood by the CDC police on the order of the inept Liberia National Inspector General Patrick Suru. We demand an investigation into this gruesome murder as well as the brutalization of our militants by the CDC police. We want justice for Mr. Ali Sharif, whose death sparked mass protests the next day after the protest staged by the militant and potent ruling Vanguard Unification Party.
Manna, bang, like the US police killed George Floyd, LMP killed Aliyu, bang, they have killed one of the people's children again, Zayu. Humanistic killing and ritualistic practice is becoming an addiction of the CDC government, Zayu.
We urge all militants, Star Wars, cadres, well-wishers, and sympathizers to remain steadfast, unrelenting, and committed to the struggle to strike down the lack of the Black Berlin Wall, the fake e-learning program imposed by the insensitive university authority. Remember firmly that when men are united, they become invisible in the sight of their oppressor. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress, and the power of our collective forces will invariably transcend the power of the bullets and tear gas sinisters. They cannot break us. We must never give up. If we must start struggling against the backward e-learning program at the State University, let us start together. The cause of social justice, academic freedom, and peace, we will never surrender. No to 100% e-learning at the State University of Liberia. At Luther, the struggle against the 100% e-learning remains unceasingly, unabated, uncompromising. Long live the Vanguard Student Unification Party.